Find out what's going on. Get involved. Change things from the inside. Make a difference. Take pride. Multicultural at its best. The Luisa Marshall Show. Coming up.
Today, all news simply the best. A conversation with Vancouver-Kensington MLA Mable Elmore. Mable made history by becoming the first MLA of Filipino Heritage in 2009. She was re-elected in 2013, 2017, and 2020. Mable is also the Parliamentary Secretary for Anti-Racism Initiatives to the Attorney General. Works tirelessly on many issues, such as immigrant, social justice, and workers' rights. Mable is passionate about bringing peace, uniting the community through engagement, and connecting people to speak out the issues that matter to them in public forums. Mable also helps people who are victims of exploitation, racial discriminations, scams, and frauds. Today, Mable is reaching out to the community to engage in the development of a Filipino cultural center with financial support from the BC provincial government. Get ready to be involved. All these coming up. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Today is my meaningful conversation with MLA Mable Elmore. Take a look. Hi, Mable. How are you?
Hi, Luisa. I'm really well. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you so much for giving us time today for a little bit of conversation with you. Okay, I've been meaning to ask you this because last year, December 10, you hosted a public forum about scams, cons, and schemes, and how to protect people from being victims. The red flags, the warning signs. Why is making awareness important about the alleged illegal activities of some people in the community?
Well, you know, Luisa, that public forum that I held in my office on December 10, it was also falling on the International Day for Human Rights, so I thought it was quite timely. And I decided to host the public forum because I was having a number of complaints come into my office about people losing money, being defrauded, and it was really a concern for me. So I partnered with the Vancouver Police Department, and I also raised these issues with the Ministry of the Solicitor General, and decided to hold a public forum. I asked them to come and speak and present, and really raise awareness in the community about how to identify if they were being victimized or if it was a potential scam situation they were in, and also if they felt that they were victims, the steps that they should take to report that. So I really appreciated the support from the Vancouver Police Department and also from the Ministry of the Solicitor General and Ministry of Finance to raise awareness and to make sure that people are not easy suspects to these types of schemes.
There were a number of people who bravely spoke about their unfortunate experience. And I would name a specific couple that was mentioned several times, June and Zila Cortez, who were actively involved in the development of a Filipino credit union, also now known as Aubergine First Filipino Credit Union. You were in touch with the BC Financial Services Authority, and they apparently investigated this. So will you please explain to our viewers the update? Is this credit union existing right now?
Well, we had a number of inquiries into my office, and so we followed up with the Ministry of Finance and Financial Services and found out that there was no credit union registered or authorized under that name to operate in British Columbia. And it was also good that the Vancouver Police Department said that if people had questions, they can also investigate and look into claims of these natures. So that was good to learn. And we heard from the Vancouver Police Department that if people felt that they've been victimized or they've lost money, they really encourage people to report the case to police, to the RCMP, because also the more cases that are reported also helps to really prioritize investigations into these type of schemes.
And so really just great to see many of you. I really want to thank, when I heard I had so many cases come to me, I've met with you who have been victims of fraud, and so I called and talked to the Solicitor General and the Ministry of the Solicitor General to raise, these concerns, so that he was concerned, and also his office. And so we also have resources coming. He's very concerned, and I said I'm going to undertake this forum, and so with his full support as well. And then I talked to, of course, our friends at the Vancouver Police Department about this issue. And so I'm so pleased to partner with the Vancouver Police Department and to have Sergeant Chad here with us to share his expertise and also ensure to raise awareness and how we can really work to bring an end to fraud.
There is no way that you can prepare yourself for each individual type of fraud, but this is what they have in common. At some point, they want you to give over money. That's it. And that's the point that you're going to have the most control.
I took them to court. The couple talked me into starting a new business, and they're Filipinos, right? So I thought, okay, well, Filipinos, I don't really know them, but they're Filipinos, they can be trusted, right? So anyways, she goes, let's start a business together. And I said, oh, great. And it was not just the two of them, it was another lady. And she's actually Indonesian. And then I met another couple of friends of theirs. And I thought, oh, this is legit. And I said, and then anyways, okay, so first, to make the long story short, because it's a long story, because it went on and on for months, almost a year actually. And then they asked me to start a business, and we don't really have the money, but do you have the money? I said, yes, I do. I have money to start the business, and let's do it all together, because I have knowledge of the other kind of business, so whatever. So anyways, okay, let's do it. So we went to the bank, we all official, we signed, we went to TD Bank, and the manager was there, we met them, we opened the account. Well, next thing you know, after
How much money did you put in?
10,000.
Okay.
And one of the other ladies was supposed to put down some money, and they were going to put down, so it was going to be like 30,000. So in less than 2 weeks, I started checking the account, and I thought, what's wrong with 2,000 here and there? And then I confronted them, the couple. Oh, we have to buy office staff, and we're buying tickets to go back to the Philippines. This is the business, we're going to get cosmetics over there. And I thought, and then they were really friendly. They invited me to their home, they cooked, oh yes, wow, all right. And the next thing you know, I said, okay, where's my money? I want my money back.
So if somebody comes to you and they have an idea or they want your money, and you've never heard of them, you've never heard of the company, just keep in the back of your mind that you need to be careful. Another red flag is the fact that they've come to you. If you want gas from Petro-Canada, does Petro-Canada chase after you and try to put gas in your car and charge you money? No, because you want the gas from them, and so you go to them. People that come to you and they're trying to market something or sell something, it happens again. It happens all the time. I'm not saying that it's not something that occurs legitimately, but it's just another thing to be aware of. That perhaps it's not. Perhaps it deserves a little bit more looking into.
A couple here, and a sister.
What's her name?
Oh, okay. June and Zila Cortez.
Again,
Everybody sees a pattern here, right?
Okay, there's a pattern. Okay.
Okay, but anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think three years ago, before COVID, they approached me. They went into my house and they gave me a portfolio that they're opening a credit union they gave me this portfolio, and we invested first 500,000 to promise as a pledge, and then one of the shareholder, they backed out, and then they shared to me another 200,000. So in short, about 700,000. So we had a meeting, and the opening, they held it to my house with Tony and most of the member. And then they asked us to pledge, and we pledged, and they promised before the first application of this credit union, we will give a show up money first to the credit union application. So what we did, I deposit 700,000 in the bank as a show money, as a certificate, and they show it to the first application. So the money is still with us. That's 700,000. And then we had another meeting, to open up a second application, and this is for membership. So I think the credit union is allowed about 30 to 50 membership to open it. So we had another meeting, and Mr. Baguno was there, and they signed us an application as a membership, and they took $5 to us, yet the credit union wasn't registered yet.
Correct.
I know that is illegal, but I don't want to interfere whatever they want to do, so I just want to be quiet. The first thing you said, you just want the money to submit for show, and then the second time they said if they want the money to be in trust with the credit union of BC, so that we know where the money goes. It's intact, and we still have just in case the application will not fall through, we can get back our money, right? So the thing, it says in the letter, they wanted to put it in the holding company because the lawyer said so, and then after that, they will put the application. So the following day, when they talked that day, I talked to Yula, the sister. I said Yula, okay, you said that there is a lawyer. I want to talk to the lawyer before we will release our money, because my husband said if we will release my money, you will be in your name. Where is the control? Where can we get, we don't have any control anymore. So I said okay, if you guys want to get our money, we want that lawyer that you are saying, we will sit down, and then we will just talk, and we want our money to be in trust.
I've got a list of specific frauds that I won't necessarily go through. I could probably make the email accessible and just give you a quick list, but they're online very easily if you just Google the top 10 scams or frauds that are there. But most often they deal on your desire to improve your financial situation. It's not a great term, but they call them greed scams because they prey upon, and it's not your greed, it's your desire to make your life better, but they call them the greed scams. There's also the love scams, which are like the catfishing, where somebody pretends to care about you, pretends to care about what's going on in your life, and makes you care about them, and then takes money from you. And then there's the sympathy scams, so the ones that play upon your humanity, and you're wanting to make the world better, and so they'll take your money that way. But in general, like I said, if you're going to give away a large sum of money, know who you're giving it to.
Sergeant, we also have the issue of maybe you can reference people who are kind of in the community. They're really expert, scammers, con artists, if you call it. They befriend people, and people hand over their money without any contracts, this type of thing. It's difficult. They really go on trust, right?
Yeah.
And they're very aggressive.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
And again, absolutely. Again, that's one of those things that's a big red flag is I can't speak to the way things are done in places that are not Canada. I really don't know. But a lot of the times these will be community members. Churches seem to be a place where they pop up quite commonly because they know that good people go to church, and they know that people who want to help go to church, and that those people will hand over money to make the world a better place. But I could tell you, in Canada, again, the process to have money exchanged is very, very rigorous, and it's very, very heavily documented. You need to have notaries endorsing the documents. You need to have contracts and paperwork that are drafted up by lawyers. You, in general, will need your own lawyer to say that you can sign it. So, for example, I in my personal life, I engaged in a contract recently where both myself and the other party needed lawyers. I knew fully what was going on. However, legally, before I could sign, I had to have a lawyer say that a lawyer who represented my best interests had explained to me what I was signing, and so that I knew, so I could provide informed consent, right? So again, there's a very strict process that exists to protect people exactly from fraud, from being taken advantage of. So if there's no paperwork, if there's no notaries, if there's no contracts, if they're not registered with government organizations, if they're not on the Better Business Bureau, if they don't have 25 years of history of doing deals with people that you know and trust, that they've done deals with before, and even that's not guaranteed. If you look at the Bernie Madoff scam, for example, in the US, went on for like 20 years. But the point is, those are all red flags. Those are all things. So just make sure that if you are going to engage, before you hand that money over, make sure that the person you're giving it to has accreditation from a government organization, that they're registered with whatever their professional college is, if it's accountants or notaries or whoever it is, I don't know. But just make sure that they have professional accreditation and that the deal is registered with some type of entity, some type of government entity.
They asked my husband to build them a house for their pig. They have a pet pig. Okay, so at that time when they had a home invasion, in which the police went there and they didn't really saw any guys going in and attack them. They even asked the neighbors' cameras, but they never saw anything. And then after that, they asked my husband, because they wanted to move out of the house because they were so traumatized. So they asked my husband to build a house for their pig truffles. So, and then after that, okay, my husband built the house, and they even showed us the bank that they wanted to build in Henderson Mall, and asked my husband to do the renovation and become their contractor. And then after that, so my husband built the house. We had got pictures, we got texts from them that the expenses and everything. So my husband got those proofs and also pictures.
Sergeant, so to sum up, still owed the outstanding $26,000, correct?
Yes.
For the
I'm Yolanda Marcelo, Yoli for short. I invested in the store next door. So the collateral was the store. She sold the store without telling me.
Did you want to tell us how much you invested? Or?
All in all, I invested $215,000. I funded the RIA for $100,000. The collateral was her condo. And I heard the condo is for sale now. She sold the store without telling me. I texted her. I said, I want my money back. You can pay me. I said to her, I don't even want you to pay me interest because she owed me the money since 2017. So I've been in the business since 2017. So I thought she was all legit because the store is there next door. The Halo Halo store.
My money, all in all, 10,000 is for my wedding. I was saving for the wedding last August. The wedding was last August, so that money was supposed to be for the wedding. 10,000 she borrowed it and just promising to pay it the next week, but it never happened. And then the 14,521 is my remittance to be sent to the Philippines because I was going at the last week of May for some payment of some gowns and for the wedding stuff that I'm going to buy. So all in all, my money is 24,521,000.
Yeah, so we have clinics, and back then it was in Burnaby and Surrey. We actually had a medical clinic. We had a couple of entities, so it was getting big, and at that time we kind of needed help, right, with marketing and because I'm like just too busy practicing. So Zila approached us and saying, I'm a good marketer. We knew that she talked a lot and she uses social media. So she approached us and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be your marketing manager. I'm gonna expand your business, right?" And okay, we're like, okay, we're gonna do that. So within probably a year, she kind of took over, and eventually, like from what we've been calculating, we spent almost $200,000. Basically,
200,000.
$100,000 to $200,000.
Okay.
Basically, it's just we've been expanding and renovating, but it's actually not the money that really scammed us. It was in the manner of how she did it. Basically, when she took over, she became like a manipulator, a bully. Yeah, they became like almost the owner.
I requested the security deposit because I paid in with my money, cash. And so he,
Did you recover any money, Christian?
nope,
Okay.
he
Okay.
issued me some checks,
Yeah.
and they are all
Bounce.
bounced. And then while we were operating the restaurant, we were legitimate partners. He was asking investor behind my back, behind the corporation.
So because I'm so shocked that time, because my CRA number is in my wallet. Yes. So, okay. So are you Antonio Ortega? Your family name, your middle name? Yes. So after hearing that from phone call, I drove all the way to the bank to freeze my account. When I went to the bank, hey, this is it. I have your account in here. Go to your bank, but don't call the police. So I went to the bank only to find out that all money in the bank is gone.
There's a lot of threats. There's a lot of threats. So this is also, I want people to overcome the fear, right, and the intimidation. And so really to speak up and understand, right, what your rights are. We have to protect everybody in the community. We don't want to see people become victims. We don't want our community to become victims and undermine that trust. We have positive efforts and projects to do, right, that are going to help people. And I want to close this meeting and say we have a very important project. The government, the provincial government, has committed to build a Filipino community center. I love it. And so we are going to build trust, and we need to build that respect and that foundation that people will not be taken advantage of. And so this is the type of project that we want to build to strengthen and empower the community, and these scammers have no role in that, right?
Several people have shared the amount of money lost and businesses failed with the involvement of this couple amongst others in the community. What do you say is the most important red flag to spot possible scams?
Well, I think, listening to the Vancouver Police Department, they're the ones who said, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, number one. Number two, they said, and this is what a really good takeaway, that if people are considering making an investment in a business or other opportunity, they should really seek a contract authorized by either a notary public or a lawyer to protect themselves. I think that's another characteristic of a lot of these cases, is that people, through goodwill or trust, just handed their money over, and there was no, binding legal contract for accountability. So I think that's another really good recommendation. And some of the, some of these numbers are quite large, for people to really protect themselves through a written contract authorized by a notary public or a lawyer. So that's, I think, though, that's a really important recommendation.
Congratulations, that was a very good forum, really. First time.
Yeah,
First time in Vancouver.
I had really positive feedback from all the participants. And, the Vancouver Police Department really appreciated the opportunity, to come and raise awareness and to talk about, to make sure that people are, number one, not easy victims, and number two, what recourse they have if they find themselves victimized. So I spoke to the police chief and also the vice chief, and also representatives from the Ministry of the Solicitor General. And these issues of these kind of financial crimes are, we're really seeing more of these, and it's really important for the community members to understand, how to protect themselves and to not become victims. So I was really happy to partner with all the organizations, and we had a great turnout and a lot of positive feedback. So hopefully it helps to really, reduce these types of schemes in the future in our community, because I don't want to see members of our community just taken advantage of. And I appreciate the individuals who spoke up. It's not easy, and also the many who reported to authorities, often being targeted. So it takes a lot of courage to do that, but I think it really helps to send the message that myself and others are not going to tolerate this type of behavior, and to encourage people who are victimized to to speak out and to bring their cases forward and to be empowered. So I think it's a positive development and a step towards what I hope a more empowered community who are not easily victimized like this in the future.
Mable, you actually empowered a lot of people by doing that. Thank you. Personally, I really want to thank you for that.
I think that it's so important to, celebrate and support journalists, and to recognize the important role that an independent media plays in really undermining our democracy and supporting the freedoms.